Tensions rising. Venezuela deploys heavy weapons as F-35 jets fly near its border. Caracas, Venezuela, October 10, 2025. In a dramatic escalation of long-standing frictions in the Caribbean, Venezuela has mobilized heavy weaponry along its coastal defenses and borders, just days after accusing the United States of sending F-35 stealth fighter jets perilously close to its airspace. The moves, described by Caracas as a necessary defensive posture against imperialist aggression, have heightened fears of a broader regional conflict amid ongoing U.S. anti-drug operations in the area. Venezuelan Defense Minister General Vladimir Padrino Lopez announced on Saturday that the Bolivarian National Armed Forces, or FANMAC, have deployed advanced anti-ship missiles, Russian-supplied Su-30 fighter jets, and over 3.7 million troops, including active-duty personnel and civilian militia, to key strategic positions along the Caribbean coast and the Colombian border. This buildup includes warships patrolling territorial waters and air defense systems on high alert in direct response to what Padrino called repeated provocations by U.S. forces. "We are not seeking war, but we will defend our sovereignty with all means at our disposal," Padrino stated during a televised address from a military base near La Guaira port. The deployment comes after special military exercises conducted earlier in the week, which involved live-fire drills simulating repelling aerial incursions. The immediate trigger was the detection of at least 5 U.S. F-35 Lightning II jets flying approximately 75 kilometers or 46 miles off Venezuela's northern coast on October 2nd. Venezuelan radar and air traffic control at Maiquetía International Airport, corroborated by a commercial airliner, tracked the aircraft as they paralleled the shoreline without entering sovereign airspace, which extends 22 kilometers offshore. Caracas labeled the flight an illegal incursion and military harassment, warning that it endangers civilian aviation and threatens national security. In a joint communique, Venezuela's foreign and defense ministries urged U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth to halt what they termed his reckless, thrill-seeking, and warmongering posture, accusing Washington of flouting international law. The U.S. Pentagon has not issued an official comment on the F-35 sightings, but sources familiar with the matter indicate the jets were part of routine patrols originating from a base in Puerto Rico, supporting Operation Sentinel, a Trump administration initiative targeting Latin American drug cartels rebranded as narco-terrorists. President Donald Trump notified Congress in early September that the U.S. is engaged in a non-international armed conflict against these groups, formalizing a war footing that has seen the deployment of 10 F-35s, 8 warships, and a nuclear-powered submarine to the region. Recent U.S. airstrikes on suspected drug-running boats off Venezuela's coast, resulting in at least 14 deaths, which Caracas and independent observers have decried as extrajudicial killings, have further inflamed tensions. President Nicolas Maduro, addressing supporters in Caracas on Thursday, framed the U.S. actions as a covert bid for regime change, echoing long-held suspicions in the Bolivarian government. "The empire thinks it can intimidate us with its toys of death, but our people are united and prepared," Maduro declared, calling for the mobilization of the country's vast militia network, which boasts millions of reservists trained in basic combat. Analysts note that Venezuela's reliance on Russian and Chinese military hardware, including S-300 air defense systems and anti-ship missiles, could complicate any escalation, potentially drawing in international actors. The standoff has ripple effects across Latin America. Colombian President Gustavo Petro proposed Qatar as a mediator to de-escalate the U.S. military presence in international waters near Venezuela, while Brazilian officials expressed concern over potential refugee flows if hostilities intensify. In Washington, Trump downplayed regime change rumors during a press briefing, stating, "We're focused on the cartels poisoning our streets, not politics in Caracas." However, the suspension of all diplomatic contact between the two nations last week signals a deepening rift. International observers, including the United Nations, have called for restraint. A spokesperson for UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres urged dialogue over confrontation in a statement Friday, warning that the Caribbean, long been a hub for drug trafficking, risks becoming a flashpoint for superpower proxy tensions. As Venezuelan troops fortify positions and U.S. assets maintain a vigilant watch, the world holds its breath, wondering if this latest chapter in U.S.-Venezuela animosity will end in diplomacy or disaster.